Okay, let's dive right into this. Imagine the world ending, not with a whimper, but with a massive cosmic system error. Now, imagine you get a second chance to go back and fix the whole thing. Today, in this explainer, we're exploring the incredible story of Song Ji-han. This is a guy who goes from a pathetic, helpless survivor to an absolute system breaker on a relentless quest for ultimate vengeance.
To really understand his journey, we kind of have to start at the absolute end. So picture this. It's the year 2023. Humanity is fighting a completely losing battle in a cosmic survival game known as BattleNets. Earth is down to its last 10 standing countries, and when they finally fail their demotion match, the system literally declares, humanity has been labeled a worthless race and expelled from the Space League. The planet is just swallowed by this dark void from the inside out, leaving Song Ji-han completely alone, floating in total darkness as the sole survivor of the human race.
But here's where things get wild. At the exact moment of annihilation, Ji-han's SS-rank skill, the Nameless Divine Arts, does the absolute impossible. It resists the world's destruction. And this defiance triggers a massive system error. The heavenly beings watching this cosmic game basically decide it's a waste to let him die, so they actually give him a do-over. They send his consciousness back 3 whole years into the past, right back to the year 2020.
Now, when Ji-han wakes up in 2020, he is a level 2 F-rank scrub. He's just surrounded by empty liquor bottles, basically a helpless drunk who threw his life away. But hidden inside that terribly weak body is a regressed powerhouse. He's armed with SS-rank arts, unparalleled future knowledge, and this absolute, unyielding will to rewrite history. It's literally like starting a new game plus, with all your maxed-out endgame stats completely hidden under level 1 starting gear.
Chapter 1. A Vow of Revenge and Protecting Seiya.
So, the Sword King is Korea's top-ranked player and actually Ji-han's own brother-in-law. But he totally abandons his country. He leaves his own daughter, Sia, behind just to change his citizenship and marry a Japanese woman. This incredibly selfish act eventually dooms South Korea to monster invasions, and in the original timeline, it leads directly to Sia's tragic death. This profound, unforgivable betrayal is exactly what fuels Ji-han's hype-driven, singular quest for vengeance.
Moving on to Part 2, breaking the game system by exploiting hidden rules.
Instead of playing by the established rules, Ji-han uses his future knowledge to completely turn the game's mechanics into his own secret weapons. Just look at how he handles his very first opponent. There's this arrogant attacker from a major guild who lunges at him with an A-rank agility gift, totally thinking Ji-han in his casual sweatpants is just a free elimination. Instead, Ji-han casually catches the blindingly fast sword with just 2 fingers. He looks at the kid with a crazy grin and says, "The most fun part of this game is crushing rookies." I mean, it instantly proves just how ridiculously overpowered his battle experience is, even while stuck in a level 2 body.
For his next mission, he shocks everyone by picking the supposedly weak support class. Why? Because his late-game knowledge lets him exploit a hidden method of farming a super rare stat called Divine Power. He equips a D-rank kitchen knife, which is actually an otherworld relic, and secretly farms this power by systematically crushing zombie heads. He completely, single-handedly dominates a survival map that was meant for an entire team, killing 1,500 zombies basically all on his own.
All right, Part 3, the viral declaration. This is where he weaponizes fame.
Ji-han quickly realizes he needs a massive shield for his niece, who is getting relentlessly harassed by the Sword King's toxic fan club. So what does he do? He launches a global BattleTube livestream right in front of the Sword King's memorial statue. And with thousands of people watching live, he violently smashes the stone monument to pieces with his bare hands. He publicly exposes the Sword King's selfish phone call, declares on camera that he will hunt the Sword King down, and challenges his insane fan club to come at him. The sheer hype of this moment literally shatters the internet.
Well, that stunt works almost too well. Furious fanboys immediately place a massive bounty on his head for his very next match, pooling a staggering 42,000 GP, which is basically $42,000, just for someone to kill him on stream. A famous troll streamer named Goldenlight tries to claim it, but Ji-han effortlessly slaughters him. And when the rest of the players try to gang up on him, Ji-han goes on an absolute rampage, claiming a flawless pentakill using nothing but that broken kitchen knife.
But here's the thing, a viral rampage like that doesn't just attract human attention, it attracts constellations. These are absolute, godlike cosmic beings tied to stars who sponsor promising players. Normally, gaining their interest takes years of grinding, but Jihan is already putting on a show that the gods themselves simply cannot ignore.
Which brings us to Chapter 4, The Queen and the Gods. Time to face the cosmic entities.
By completely breaking the system and drawing all this attention, Song Jihan catches the eyes of some incredibly dangerous higher beings. Knowing he's on a collision course with these cosmic entities, Jihan attempts the impossible, forging an elite power called Force. He basically forces his divine power and magic to fuse directly with his martial power. It is an agonizing, incredibly life-threatening process that previously only the absolute #1 player in the entire world had ever achieved. And the cinematic payoff of this power-up is just breathtaking. When he finally tests a variation of this new power out in the field, he projects an energy zone that completely freezes an entire zombie horde right in place. He realizes that the true value of Force is space control, its absolute dominion. He showcases total control over the battlefield, turning these terrifying, fast-moving monsters into frozen statues.
And now, Part 5, Clash of the Titans in the Top 100 promotion.
So, in a special survival map for the Top 100 Silver League promotion match, Jihan finds himself face-to-face with the very man who once ruled the world rankings. Just look at the contrast between these two juggernauts. On one side, you have Baron Williams, arrogant, totally relying on raw, destructive mana and a devastating attack called Flame Wave. On the other side, Song Jihan, relying on perfect martial mastery, a system-breaking intellect, and the ever-evolving nameless divine arts.
In the heat of battle, Baron unleashes his ultimate Flame Wave, which is an attack literally nobody has ever survived. But Jihan doesn't even flinch. With a single devastating strike of his spear, utilizing the path of the immortal sage, Jihan completely erases the flames. It's insane. He casually humiliates Baron, telling the #1 player in the world that he is empty inside and sloppy, right before violently pinning his back to the ground with a brutal close-quarters counter.
But as soon as he defeats Baron, a new, far more terrifying threat emerges. The Shadow Queen, who is absolutely furious that Jihan rejected her Constellation sponsorship earlier, launches a massive assassination attempt right inside the arena. Giant shadow monsters swallow his attacks and tear at his body. Pushed to the absolute brink, Jihan sets his spear ablaze and roars, "If she wants to bury me in darkness, I'll answer with the nameless divine arts." He uses his ultimate technique to hold on just long enough to survive the match timer, literally outlasting a god's wrath.
So, what does this all mean? That brings us to the end of today's explainer, leaving us with one incredibly provocative question. When you have broken the game system, humiliated the #1 player in the world, and survived the wrath of the gods themselves, who is left to stop you? Song Jihan's overpowered journey from a doomed survivor to an absolute god-slayer is honestly just getting started, and that inevitable, earth-shattering clash with the traitorous Sword King is looming right on the horizon. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.